on talent more than geography. A lot of you do college recruiting, for example. Maybe you recruit in the local schools right by your office. That's great. But why not also leverage the internet, let the internet work for you to make connections with people that want to move to your city? Are you selling your location, whether it's New York City or Pensacola, Florida, in every piece of communication you're giving out to a potential recruit? I would hope so. It's very important. And when I say this, and I'm usually in a room, I always get somebody that chuckles, and they're like, well, last time, I'm not picking on Missouri, but the last time the guy goes, we're from Springfield, Missouri, okay? No one's going to move to Springfield, Missouri. I said, that's not true. And hang on, because there's a punchline to that. Number 2, focus on candidate networks. So, if you're at PwC and you lose a manager in St. Louis, do you think the recruiting team at PwC starts from scratch and posts a job and hopes that they attract new candidates that they've never talked to? No way. And neither do a lot of our old clients at Monster. They are leveraging pools of people that they had already talked to, that they've already recruited, and that they didn't hire. And they do it so effectively that they're hiring from that audience, not from a brand new audience that they were trying to collect. And they do that too. But having the talent pool cuts it in half. Robert Half did a phenomenal study recently, and they surveyed 2,100 CFOs of American corporations and asked them, how long does it take you to fill the role of a senior accountant in your organization? A couple of interesting findings for you all. Number 1 was it takes like 6 to 7 weeks to fill the position. Okay, do you feel their pain? Number 2, they said, what's the biggest complaint you have from that? And they said, and I just talked to someone in the audience about this. Well, the short-staffed team has to fill the job of the missing person on the team. And that leads to frustration, and that leads to burnout, and it sometimes leads to other good people leaving because they're sick of the situation of having to fill in, right? And so one of the conclusions of the study was, how do you solve this problem? How do you hire somebody quicker? And they said talent pools. Just keep in contact, whether it's social media or different strategies like just keeping in touch with them over email to get them back. And by doing that, it cuts that time to fill sometimes in half. And then lastly, recruit your best talent. I mentioned earlier that good people are looking for new opportunities. And those opportunities should be with you, with their current employer. Are you communicating with them? We have a consultant in the industry named Sandra Wiley, who's a phenomenal leader and a firm practice management consultant. And she advocates something called a stay interview. I thought this was very clever. As a leader, she advocates that you sit down with your high performers, the people you're not going to leave, or not going to let leave. Before they're even thinking about leaving, you ask the question, what do I have to do to keep you here in this organization? Within reason. What do I have to do? And it would be amazing to you what will come out of that conversation. It's kind of like being married to somebody and after the wedding day, never telling them I love you again. Keep wooing the great people in your organization. So I mentioned the gentleman who said, well, we don't want anybody, we don't think we can get people to move to Springfield, Missouri. And I said, let's talk about McAllen, Texas. Anybody know where McAllen is?
Right off the Mexican border.
Right off the Mexican border in the Rio Grande in South Texas. So I was talking to a small firm there. It's a great firm, smaller firm, and they wanted to hire somebody out of school, an accounting major. But the problem was, according to her, this is not my words, but nobody wants to move here, and all the students who are here, they want to get out of here. And it's a pretty challenging place. Probably it's pretty hot, and the economy is not fantastic there either. But that's besides the point. So I'm doing a demo of our site, College Frog. I said, well, I guess we could look in College Frog and see if any students have said that they wanted to move to McAllen, Texas. Now, when you start a software company and you are demoing your product, don't ever demo it without knowing what's going to happen. That's like rule number 1. I broke that rule, and I searched for McAllen, Texas, and thank heavens, we had 7 candidates who not only showed up in the search results, they wanted to move to McAllen. One of these students goes to Texas A&M University, which which is a pretty traditional Big Four university from the accounting program. So I was like, let's take a look at Guadalupe here. Sure enough, she wants, and you see at the bottom, preferred locations. She wants Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, or McAllen. I said, do you think you should call her? We're going to call her. And the point is when you think about talent over geography as an employer, there are people who want to move to your location. You just don't know where they are. You need to have a banner somewhere. So if they say, I want Atlanta, I'm going to find you as an employer. And if you do get people to come to your website and you do post jobs, it's important what you're communicating. It's important what you are offering them about you as an employer. I won't spend a lot of time on this, but I'd be happy to send our research and this presentation to any of you as employers in the room who would like me to follow up. I'm happy to send any of this information. So I'll summarize. Most of us in our profession don't have a lot of good quality information to recruit talent to on our website. That's not good. Answer the critical questions. Why would you want to attract somebody to come work here? What are your values? What do you stand for? And bring them in. Use things like LinkedIn. LinkedIn's free. Post on your site that I need to fill a position fast, and tell everybody on your team to share that free post. Within 3 or 4 people in your organization, you might be able to reach 20,000 people who could see your post. This is free stuff. And if you're a candidate, please register with this website. Our employers, all employers, will search LinkedIn and try to find talent to fill positions. Because I came from the job board industry, I know a lot about what works and what doesn't, and I'm happy to talk with anybody about what you're looking for. But what I advocate is, if you're doing college recruiting in the finance and accounting world, pick a couple good schools that actually work for you. We actually convert hires, and do the rest online, and invest in those schools that you go to. The more you invest, the more you spend time speaking on a campus, maybe helping teach a class, the better results you get. And if you're recruiting unexperienced, try Accounting Fly, try Big Four Network, which is a great site, Indeed, and LinkedIn. And that's another thing for the job seekers. Use Indeed. 16 million people look for jobs on Indeed.com every single day, and a lot of employers do. I would encourage you to just post your resume up on Indeed.com. And if you're an employer, search resume databases, search Indeed, and get your hands dirty. Make phone calls. Call talent. They like to be wooed, right? And you can win them over if you find somebody that looks like a good fit. I want to talk about talent pools, and who are the talent pools that you should be accumulating? Think about the people that you didn't hire. So in College Frog, we take everybody that you hire on campus and we put them into a database so that you can keep in touch with that database forever. Your college recruits